Access the databases, you're going to go to sewardparkcampuslibrary.org. It's the easiest way to get there. If you go from there to the research tab right here, it's going to take you to an embedded research, all the research databases that are available to you in New York State. So as long as you're logged in anywhere in New York State, you'll be able to access these. You can use for different projects. For this particular project, I might recommend using, you could try the Britannica High School. I found that this one allows you to access some actual newspapers and primary sources. So just keep in mind that Britannica is an encyclopedia. So for example, if I was doing the Gulf War, it will give you articles, it will give you images, which this might be helpful for your newspaper. You can find images and pull them from there. I think videos are a little less helpful for you, but they are there. And when you're clicking on the articles, just do keep in mind these are not news articles, but these are encyclopedia entries. So they're kind of after the fact, and they're not as they happened in terms of current events. In terms of finding news events, I thought you would most likely want to try the Gale OneFile news database. And this is actually news resources. So if you click on that, Gale is our most extensive database, and it's the most versatile. Say I did the same search for the Gulf War here. I can kind of restrict, because as you can see, Gale will show me both news, magazines, academic journals, which tend to be more after the fact because they require some research. There are some images located here, although far less than you saw in the Britannica, and again videos, but they may not be as helpful. Now say you wanted to restrict this, because if you see it will turn up articles as recent as January 28th, 2023. But if you're looking for primary sources or things that happened when the actual event was occurring, you can actually set custom dates. You can, use the scroll menu, but I actually found it was a bit easier to just type in the date manually. So if I just roughly said 1990 to maybe the same range, maybe 1995, that way I get kind of more like in the moment news stories. You'll see then I can get kind of more dated to my actual time period. So this was week 3 of the Gulf War, for example. You can see the date right here. You can see the words here. You can tell the article, and it'll also give you the Lexile level. If you click on the actual article, there's a lot of things you can do with the articles. One of the things you can do straight off the bat is you can translate it into any language. So it does kind of use the Google Translate interface. You can decrease or increase the font size. You can change the display options if you like to read it at a high contrast. If you really want to, you can listen to the article. It will
The Gulf War.
Read it to you kind of in a somewhat robotic voice, but it's not bad. And the nice thing about it is you can actually send this article to yourself in Google Drive. So if I press that Google Drive button, it will say, oh, it's sending to you automatically. I'm already logged into my Google Drive. It might prompt you to just log in. If you use Microsoft OneDrive, same thing. You can email it to yourself, you can download it, or you can print it. Another nice thing about this article is that you can highlight in Gale. So for example, maybe you wanted to focus or you wanted to include this specific fact in your newspaper. If I click on it, I can actually automatically highlight it. I would say use this as a pull-out quote, and I can save it, and it will save every time I log in. All my highlights and notes are saved here. I can also, when I send this to myself, I can get those notes sent automatically, or I can print them with there. So this is kind of a nice feature if you're looking for specific articles. So I think I'll stop there, but those are kind of some good things to note for the time being.